What's going on, guys? Today we are going to be discussing the Elderwood Aurelion Soul composition. I don't know if you guys knew, but there was a race to Challenger, and the player who got there first, like the first one, rank 1 Challenger in set 4.5, they were mainly playing just Elder Aurelion Soul. And I know that this composition got touched a little bit in the B patch of 11.2, but I still see a ton of people playing it. It's still a very strong comp, so we have to learn how to play it. So I actually worked with the player who got to Challenger first, and the person who really brought this composition into the spotlight of TFT. And this player's name is Coralie. Coralie has told me what to do for this composition in all stages of the game, what items to go for, what positioning we need to do, what to do when we get different chosens, and different variations of the comp. And I guarantee you that a lot of you guys were not playing one of these variations, which you probably should add to your repertoire when going for this composition. So first we're going to go into what the composition looks like. The core units are of course Aurelion Soul, Rakan, Xayah, Lulu, and Veigar. This gives you a base of Elderwoods to build upon to go to either 6 or 9 Elderwood, and it gives you 3 mages to either go 3 or 5 mages. The most popular version of this composition is what you see here, and this is the 5 mage, 6 Elderwood composition. Notice how you don't need chosens to hit this comp, so that makes this comp very flexible and easy to hit. As long as you get at least one of each unit, you can generally force this composition because you don't need a specific chosen unit. You would prefer to get mage or Elderwood chosen, of course, because then you could run one extra unit, but that doesn't always happen. Another version of this composition, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with, is the 9 Elderwood composition. I put this on my meta snapshot last week, but in case you guys didn't check it out yet, it looks kind of like this with the 9 Elderwood with the Elderwood chosen and the Elderwood spatula on Aurelion Soul. However, the third variation, which I don't think a lot of people know about, is the Keeper version, and this revolves around having chosen Keeper. Normally this is chosen Kennen or Rakan, and with this build you go for something like a fast 9. You run 4 Keepers, 6 Elderwood, and 3 mages, and then once you reach level 9, you sell the Kennen and then roll down for a random legendary unit to raise the power level of the composition. All 3 versions are very strong. It just depends what chosens you get, depends what units you see in your shops. And a lot of people did not know about the Keeper comp, which has been hidden OP for quite a while. In fact, in a lot of my games, I've probably only seen one person playing this despite seeing Aurelion Soul in so many of my games. Leave a comment below if you've tried this yourself and let me know how you compare it to the other 2 versions. Now that we know what each version of the composition looks like, let's get into the leveling pattern. So on level 4, you generally want to pre-level at stage 1-4 if you do not have a chosen yet and cannot make 10 gold. Otherwise, you naturally level up at stage 2-3. For level 5, you naturally level up at stage 3-2 or 2-7 depending if you pre-leveled to level 4. Notice how we are not leveling up aggressively like we do with most other compositions. This is definitely a high econ build, and this is how Coralie has played it in the past. The time the strategy changes up a little bit is at level 6. So at level 6, you want to get to there at stage 3-2 and roll down until your board is stable. And then go to level 7 at stage 4-1 every game and roll there too. Lastly, for level 8, this typically happens at stage 4-5 if you can stay above 20 gold, or if you are low health and you can play a 5th mage. Otherwise, you level up to level 8 at stage 5-1. Level 9 is a little different. It always depends on the game, depends on your life total, depends what items you have on your board and what units you have on your bench. So you only go for level 9 if your board is stabilized and you are looking for Ornn to make the 9th Elderwood. Otherwise, you most likely should just stay at level 8. As for the rolldowns on level 6 and 7, I'm going to go over more of that in depth when we get to the early and mid game sections. Item priority is going to be a little different than what you guys might have been expecting. A lot of people go for Rod first, but the most important item in this composition is Sunfire Cape. I don't know if you guys noticed that in the thumbnail. I didn't list any Aurelion Soul items. I listed Rakan with a Sunfire Cape. That means our most important items are Chain Vest and Belt, because you cannot play the comp without it. If you can't get either of those, go for the Rod and then the Crit, because Spell Crit's probably the best item on Aurelion Soul. So here's a list of slammable items that you can make in the early game if you are curious about what items you can auto make or which items to hold off on. So if you have a Rod, you can make Jeweled Gauntlet, Gunblade, Deathcap, Gwynsu's Rage Blade, and Ionic Spark. For Glove, you could go for Jeweled Gauntlet, Hand of Justice, or Infinity Edge if you already have a Jeweled Gauntlet. For Tear, you could build Hand of Justice, Chalice of Power, Blue Buff, or Shojin. For Chain Vest, you can build Sunfire Cape, Bramble Vest, Titan's Resolve, Stoneplate, and Guardian Angel. For Cloak, you could build Chalice, Ionic, Deathclaw, and Stoneplate. And for sword, you could build Zeke's, Guardian Angel, Giant Slayer, and Shojin. Bow, you can build RFC, Titan's Resolve, Winsu's Rageblade, and Giant Slayer. And then with belt, you could build Sunfire Cape, Zeke's, and Warmogs. In the late game carousels, items that are more valuable to have include Quicksilver, Shroud, and Zephyr. And Frozen Heart on Rakan also works really well. However, you do not slam Frozen Heart because there are much better items you can make out of those components. Spatula is also super important in this composition. Mage Cap and Elderwood Spatula allow you to get to 5 or 6 mages at level 7, which is a huge power spike. If you do not have Elderwood chosen, Coralie prefers Mage Cap. Mage Cap has insane synergy with Rakan and Xayah, and it guarantees that Xayah's feathers will return because she is invulnerable during the second cast. So if Xayah has items, put Mage Cap on her over Rakan. If you don't have any items, throw it on Rakan. With Elderwood chosen, you get to play the strongest version of this composition in the game, which is what you hit when you get 9 Elderwood. It also adds much needed tank stats to Aurelion Soul so that he lives longer against area of effect spells. So with all that in mind, let's get into what the best in slot items are for each of the champions. For Rakan, you want Sunfire and Rapid Fire Cannon. For Aurelion Soul, you want Jeweled Gauntlet, Blue Buff, and Gunblade. For Xayah, you want Handed Justice, and Guardian Angel. And then for Annie, Bramble Vest, Stoneplate, and Dragon's Claw are really good. And again, the reason why all these items are less important than Sunfire Rakan is because Rakan is always the last person to die, and he always gets so much value out of the Sunfire Cape. And then you couple that with the fact that there's no replacement for Sunfire Cape, and that's the primary reason why the item is so strong. Aurelion Soul, for example, he could use like 10 different items, but he can only fit 3 in his item slots. So you could pretty much build anything for Aurelion Soul, but you just really need to make sure that you have the Sunfire for Rakan. For Aurelion Soul, Jeweled Gauntlet's gonna be the best item because it gives you the highest chance to one-shot people. And many people actually say that Gunblade is necessary to win in the mirror matchup. However, this is incorrect, because Aurelion Soul can get one shot if the other person has a Jeweled Gauntlet, so if you're facing a lot of Aurelion Souls, Gunblade is often not the answer. To win the mirror matchups, you need the Jeweled Gauntlet, and then you could also add in Chalice of Power on Veigar or Lulu to buff your Aurelion Soul, or build Blue Buff or Shojin on Aurelion Soul with a Zeke's on Veigar or Lulu to guarantee that you ultimate first. Xayah's best items are Double Handed Justice because you need to get the healing roll from Handed Justice, and pretty much all the outcomes of Handed Justice are going to be very good for you. Lastly, I want to talk about RFC. RFC on Rakan is kind of like a hidden tech that Coralie pioneered, and a lot of top ranked players were actually confused as to why it was built. Rakan's ability always targets the furthest unit in range. As he taunts all the units that he runs through, he also messes up the pathing of enemies because he drags them across the entire board. This allows you to get better Aurelion Soul ults as well. Now that we have all the background information out of the way, let's get into how to play this composition. So in the early game, you want to be lose streaking almost every game. If you guys remember the leveling pattern, we did not aggressively level up, so you just lose streak all the way until stage 3-2, where you level up to level 6, and then roll at 3-2 with 50 gold. The goal while doing this is to hold at least 70 health at Krugs with a perfect loss streak. Generally, a board to do this with is using Twisted Fate to hold Aurelion Soul and Xayah items. Ideally, this should give enough time for Twisted Fate to kill a backline unit to save 2 health per round. A Rakan 1 with Sunfire Cape will also do a nice job to preserve your health early. Now for the mid game at stage 3-2. During this time, you'll want to level up to 6 and roll down, and Coralie rolls down until the board is strong enough to win the rest of the stage, and the goal is to stay above 20 gold. However, sometimes you can roll deeper if you do not have a chosen yet. Here's a list of viable chosens that you can use in your games, and that is Rakan, Lulu, Veigar, Annie, Kennen, Elderwood Nunu, and Enlightened Janna. These are the only types of chosens you could hit at level 6, so you really want to be aiming for these. Sometimes you could take Fortune Annie if you want to run Fortune for increased economy to go to level 8 sooner, and Enlightened Janna is also a good standalone chosen that can guarantee a win streak because she shields your strong units. In the case of Annie or Janna chosen, you generally sell those before you roll at level 8. Here's an example of an Elderwood chosen board after you roll down at level 6, and then here's an example of a level 6 board after you hit Mage chosen. Now let's move on to stage 4-1. This is when you want to level up to level 7 and roll down to preserve your win streak. There are pretty high odds that you hit at least one Xayah or Aurelion Soul here, and that is your goal. You don't actually need both units to stabilize your board if you hit a strong board at level 6. However, you want to prepare your board to hit 6 Elderwood and 5 Mages after you hit level 8. The goal of this roll down is to make your board strong enough to hit level 8 without losing too much health, and again, we want to aim to hit level 8 at either stage 4-5 or 5-1. If you have loaded dice from the Lucky Lantern, go ahead and use it on Lulu or Vhagar if you do not have Xayah or Aurelion Soul. Late game is where your strategy diverges into a couple of different paths. If you are close to Annie, Rakan, or Lulu 3-star, and your board is stable, you can often slow roll at level 7 if you have 6 or more copies of these units before going 8. In most other situations, you'll go ahead and go to level 8 at 4-5 if you can keep above 20 gold, because this gives you your 6 Elderwood 5 Mage power spike. You should only roll at this point if you are at 2 lives or less. If you don't have that big of an economy, or if you already have 6 Elderwood and 5 Mages from either a Spatula or a Force of Nature, then you could go ahead and level to 8 at stage 5-1 because you do not need this power spike that quickly. If you have chosen Elderwood and Elderwood Spat, you want to try as hard as possible to play 9 Elderwood. This gives you Ornn items, and it's the strongest version of the comp. If you are stable and healthy, this can be done by going to level 9. Conversely, if you are low on health or economy, you could always just try to get lucky and find Ornn at level 8. Other units that can be played while you're going for the 9 Elderwood synergy are running units like Aatrox and Sejuani for more frontline. Another nice addition is Azir because he gives Keeper, and you could potentially play 4 Keeper until you get to level 9. Now that we've run through how to play Elderwood mages, let's go into some of the counters. Composition-wise, the main counter is Dragon Soul. 6 Dragon Soul means that there are 3 units hitting your team for 50% max health, which means that they could kill the Elderwood units before they get the bonus stats. Other comps that are also pretty good are the 8 Brawler Shyvana builds with Dragonclaw or Bramble on Shyvana, and the Divine Siphoner comps with Morello on Morgana. Morgana's typically good against Elderwood because you're all grouped up, so Morgana always gets good ultimates. Here are a few comps that need to high roll a little bit in order to beat our comp, and this is Fabled with 3-star Nico, and this is because Nico RNG casting on Aurelion Soul can often one-shot him. Duelist is also really good if you get a lot of 3-stars and a Yone. Spirit Zed with perfect items is really good too, and Assassins also deal very nicely against the Elderwood comp because 3-star Akali with RFC can kill a lot of the Elderwood units before the stacks ramp up. Other ways to counter this composition is to use Shroud of Stillness, and again, this is all down to positioning. Since you're all grouped up, Shroud of Stillness can often hit your whole team. Trapclaw is really good against Aurelion Soul. Dragonclaw, Bramblevest, and Guardian Angel are great against Aurelion Soul because they let them live after the first cast. Azir Soldier baiting in the corner is really nice to get out Aurelion Soul ults. And Lee Sin is also very interesting because he can kick Annie or Rakan off the map or do an AoE CC into an Elderwood clump. Set is also really nice because your front line is often very tanky, so Set deals % max health damage, so he's pretty effective into this comp as well. So that is pretty much how you play this Elderwood Mage composition. Again, all this information comes from the person who pioneered the comp and hit rank 1 with it, and this person beat out all the top streamers, all the top players in order to get first to Challenger after the Set 4.5 drop. I'll leave a link to Coralie's Twitch stream in the description below, so be sure to check that out. But as usual, if you guys enjoyed this or learned something, go ahead, like the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to be doing a lot more content in the coming weeks, including updated tier lists, more composition guides, and a lot of theoretical guides as well. But definitely make sure to check out Coralie's stream, and I will see you guys next time. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and of course smash that like button. Each like is an LP I gain before the next video.